Hello BookTube. Well, another video so soon. That's because today I'm going to do my Christmas Eve and Christmas book haul. So I'm going to start off with what I got from my mum because she knows what I want very well, and that is Born a Crime and Other Stories by Trevor Noah. So I have discussed in an earlier video that I was really wanting to read this, and of course Mom, first subscriber, knew so. And she knows I enjoy watching him on YouTube. So I got Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. I've read the first 4 pages already, and I'm really going to enjoy this, I'm sure. Then, because, as I told you in my last video, I got a job. So I have been saving like a demon for the last 3 months because I didn't know what was going to happen in the future. And then on top of it, I worked this holiday at a bookshop. And yeah, my last day in the bookshop went very well for me, maybe not so well for the foundations in the house, definitely not so well for the bank account, but I got some books. So let me show you what I got. So the first one I got was I Am Malala. I thought that this would be an important book for me to read as a teacher and a female, especially in a country where we still have issues with regards to the patriarch and women not being as entitled or as allowed, particularly in the more traditional cultures. So I thought that this would be an important book to read, particularly from the perspective of educating girls. And I've also heard bits and pieces from this. The woman who runs English in our district, for the last 2 years, she's referred to elements of this book in the listening exam for the kids. And yeah, I thought that was pretty good too. So I've got I Am Malala. Then, okay, I usually am allergic to anything that's got vampires in it. Thank you, Twilight. So I thought I would cure that. And I got Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. I've been curious to read this. I mean, who hasn't seen the movie version? But books are usually better than the movie, right? Unless it's some movies or some books. So I thought I'd give this one a try. Besides, it's considered a bit of a modern classic in a way, so maybe it's important to read. I'm very curious about this one. I've also read the first 2 pages. It sounds really good. Then I got Tess by Tracy Farren. Now this is a South African book, and although I know some things about it. I know that Tess is a prostitute in South Africa. I don't know how she got there, so that's going to be interesting. But I've got a friend who is extremely intellectual, and he enjoys watching films, highbrow intellectual films, etc. And he loved this. This screened last year at the Grahamstown Festival, the arts festival, and he raved about it. So it's made me very curious to read the book because, yeah, I don't know why, but I really struggle to sit to watch 2 hours of movies. Well, to watch a movie for 2 hours, I can sit and read for 10, but don't ask me to sit for 2. Maybe it's that I'm a little bit more proactive when I'm reading. Then I got this, The Printmaker by Bronwyn Law Viljoen. And Kerry, the manager at the bargain books where I worked, she read the first paragraph, and that kind of sold me. This one's also apparently South African. So it says here, I'm afraid there is nothing left to draw. The feeling has been coming and going for months now, receding when I'm in the studio, but creeping up on me when I'm in the house or garden or walking to the shops. On some occasions, however, it doesn't creep but actually jumps me and gives me a fright like a sail unfurling suddenly in a strong wind with a sharp snap of fabric. When this happens, I try to think about lines and shadings, perspectives and form and all of that, but also to summon the whole pictures I see when I close my eyes, pictures that have always seemed to be there, always present to me, fully formed, flickering through the movie frames. I like the sound of that. And in case you're interested, this business here with that roller, I've done that before. It makes a strangest sound. It goes as you do it. Very sticky. The next one I got was Coconut, a novel by Kopano no, Matlwa. This is also a South African book, and give you a bit of perspective. A coconut is a derogatory term by black people to other black people. It's a term meaning for people who are black on the outside but white on the inside. And I know that kids at school have spoken to me in the past about how they are treated by other members of their culture, because they go to white schools and speak in a white person's type of English. The accent sounds white, they dress white, they speak white, their concept of personal space is white, and they get a lot of hassles about it. So I thought that this one would be interesting to read. It's actually about two girls by the sounds of it, and one is wealthy and the other one is not. So I thought that this would be an interesting perspective into some of the issues that some black kids in our country face in today's day and age. Yeah, you solve one problem, you get another one. Then I actually got a book by Zakes Mda. So this is The Madonna of Excelsior, and apparently this is to do with a town where, okay, so during apartheid, it was considered immoral to have interracial relationships, and apparently in this town there was such a thing going on. Ooh dear. So yeah, I'm curious to read this. It's not very thick, but print is a bit on the small side. It's not exactly the prettiest one. The one that I showed the cover for in the Reading Your Country tag, that one looked way better, but beggars can't be choosers. I actually found him, and to be totally honest, I found quite a few of his books in our bookshop. So I was girls on the ball there. I just apparently shop with my eyes closed. Then I got a book by Chris Carter. So he seems to be quite popular. This one doesn't have his picture on the back, but if it did, I would have shown it to you, because this guy looks like the kind of guy that I would avoid in a dark alleyway. He's got that dodgy look about him, but apparently in real life he has something to do with criminals. I can't remember if he was a criminal psychologist or something along those lines, but anyway, this one sounds pretty interesting. So it's to do with a guy who's stalking people on social media, or hunting his victims on social media. And I thought, oh, what the hell, for a quick mind-numbing read, this one would fit the bill. And then the last book that I got myself, it was a cover by, I'm going to be honest, it's called The Other Mrs. Walker by Mary Paulson Ellis. And I just liked the sound of it. In fact, it had a bit of a reminder of what Britta Bolt, what her book, the first one that I read, oh God, what was it called? You know, one day my memory will return. Anyway, I like this. In a freezing Edinburgh flat, an old woman takes her last breath, surrounded by the few objects she has accrued over a lifetime: a photograph, an emerald dress, and a Brazil nut with the 10 Commandments etched in its shell. Meanwhile, guided by the flip of a coin, Margaret Penny escapes the disaster of her life in London and returns reluctantly to her childhood home. Faced with relying on a resentful mother she has never really known, Margaret finds herself a job tracking down the families of those who have died neglected and alone. Her instructions are to uncover the necessary paperwork, yet the only thing her client, Mrs. Walker, left behind is a collection of peculiar objects. Objects that reveal a story of children abandoned and lost, of beguiling sisters and misplaced mothers, of thievery and the very deepest of betrayals, a story that moves from the 1930s to the present day, in which the extraordinary circular nature of life glitters from the page. So I thought that sounded interesting. I mean, the cover made me look at it, and then I read that and I went, well, that does sound interesting, so I got it. So those are the books that I got myself. I don't even want to know how many I bought this month. Actually, I will work it out, because this all goes in the database. And then I sit there going, oh, what have I done? And then I look at that TBR pile that, instead of going, kind of looks like a flag during a typhoon, but anyway, or a windsock. So those are the books that I got in the last 2 days. just an update on currently reading. So I'm still busy with Mort, still enjoying it, having a few giggles. I'm still busy with Dissolution. I can tell you from the language that I'm going to really enjoy that book come hell or high water. He has to do something really tragic for me to absolutely just change my mind. And then my mom and I are audiobooking The Lake House by Kate Morton while we build a 2,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. Currently I'm wondering if they left a knot off the end and some of the pieces out the puzzle. But I'm sure that tomorrow we will have it finished. We're almost done at the moment. It's only taken 2 days. Actually, half the day was sorting out the pieces. Anyway, I hope everyone had a fabulous Christmas. As you know, I am now officially on holiday for the next 2 weeks, so with luck there will be A, lot of reading, and B, some more videos. And C, maybe with better lighting as I get to fiddle and experiment. Anyway, that's me for now. Happy reading. Bye!